fastfilmfunding.com.
What's the best advice to someone who wants to be a director? And the answer I give is very simple. Be a director. Pick up a camera, shoot something, no matter how small, no matter how cheesy, no matter whether your friends and your sister star in it. Put your name on it as director. Now you're a director. Everything after that, you're just negotiating your budget and your fee. So it's a state of mind is really the point. Once you commit yourself to do it, then the hard part starts, which is that you have to forswear all other paths, because you can't keep a foot in cabinet making and a foot in directing. You can't keep a foot in one job, and it's a total and all-consuming thing. And I suspect that many of the difficult and challenging things in the world, whether it's research or whatever, certainly in the arts, must be all-consuming, because you're in competition with people who have made that decision, who have committed themselves 100%. You're competing for resources. It's a big coral reef, and it's a big food chain, and you're competing for resources. And you're competing against people who have made that commitment. If you don't make the same commitment, you're not going to compete. It's that simple.
Everybody said it was a crazy thing to do, because in those days, nobody made it into the film business. I mean, just unless you were related to somebody, there was no way in. So everything was silly. You're never going to get a job. But I wasn't moved by that. I set the goal of getting through film school, and just then focused on getting to that level, because I didn't know where I was going to go after that. I wanted to make documentary films, and eventually I got into the goal of, once I got to school, of making a film. One of the most telling things about film schools, you got a lot of students in those days, especially, it's not quite so much today, but wandering around saying, "Oh, I wish I could make a movie. I wish I could make a movie. I can't get in this class. I can't get any." First class I had was an animation class. It wasn't a production class. I had a history class and an animation class. And in the animation class, they gave us 1 minute of film to put onto the animation camera, to operate it, to see how you could move left, move right, make it go up and down. And it was a test to see, and then the teacher you had certain requirements that you had to do. You had to make it go up and make it go down. And then the teacher would look at it and say, "Oh, yes, you maneuvered this machine to do these things." And I took that 1 minute of film and made it into a movie. And it was a movie that won 20 or 25 awards, in every film festival in the world, and kind of changed the whole animation department. And meanwhile, all the other guys were going around saying, "Oh, I wish I could make a movie. I wish I was in a production class." And so then I got into another class, and it wasn't really a production class, but I managed to get some film, and I made a movie. And I made lots of movies while I was in school, while everybody else was running around saying, "Oh, I wish I could make a movie. I wish they'd give me some." Was always extremely curious about why people did the things they do, and I was always very interested in what motivates people, and telling stories and building things. I've always been very into building things, whether they're chess sets or houses or cars or whatever. And I like to put things together. And so when I was young, from at least my teenage years, they were completely devoted to cars, and that was the most important thing in my life, from about ages of 14 to 20. Everybody has talent, and it's just a matter of moving around until you've discovered what it is. A talent is a combination of something you love a great deal, that's something you can lose yourself in, something that you start at 9 o'clock, look up from your work, and it's 10 o'clock at night. And also something that you have a talent, not a talent for, but skills that you have a natural ability to do very well. And usually those two things go together. Learning to make films is very easy. Learning what to make films about is very hard. And what you really got to do is focus on learning as much about life and about the various aspects of it first, and then learn just the techniques of making a movie, because that stuff you can pick up pretty quickly. But having a really good understanding of history, literature, psychology, sciences are very, very important to actually being able to make movies. No matter how easy it looks on the outside, it is a very, very difficult struggle. Most people, you don't see the struggle part of a person's life, you only see the success they have. But I haven't met anybody here at the Academy or anywhere else that hasn't been able to describe years and years and years of very, very difficult struggle through the whole process of achieving anything whatsoever. So, and there's no way to sort of get around that. And the secret is just not to give up hope. And it's very hard not to, because if you're really doing something worthwhile, I think you will be pushed to the brink of hopelessness before you come through the other side, and you somehow have to hang in through that.
FastFilmFunding.com